I would totally cheat on a guy with a small like yours.
I want to tell you about my review of an ASMR SPH cuckold roleplay chat session, an episode of the Arousr podcast. I'm Shauna, a sexologist for Arousr. Your Kinky Escape podcast is created by Arousr using their real chat sessions that take place between members and real female chat hosts who are exceptionally open-minded and kink-friendly. So essentially what happens in this podcast episode is that a male calls in. He is having thoughts about his ex-girlfriend cheating on him with other men. And so he is wanting to have a role play scenario with this in mind. So the female host takes him through a few different scenarios. One element that was brought into the role play was him being at work. I think one of the reasons that this might appeal to a lot of listeners is that it incorporates the fantasy of exhibitionism. And so what that means is you enjoy the fact that you might get caught in the act or the act of pleasure. That's one of the elements in this episode a lot of people will find enjoyable and relatable. I think the added element of excitement or that hit of adrenaline that you could potentially get caught absolutely can increase that element of pleasure and desire in a lot of people. There was some pretty descriptive dirty talk, and I thought it played out his fantasy quite well, focusing on the size or lack thereof of his member below the waist and how every other male involved in this role play had a lot more width and girth to speak of. Really seemed to increase his pleasure. I think the host was creative. I think that she brought his fantasy to life, which is always a good thing. I think this podcast is a great option to explore your kinky or vanilla fantasies with real verified women to chat with online. It's free to try. You can explore more on arousr.com.